It's showtime.
Hey, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? My name's Jake Shadow. This is a podcast about reality television and friendship in which I ask my best friend Thomas Powell if he did indeed watch a certain reality show. Hey, Thomas, how you doing today?
What's up, bud?
Not much. I was excited to do a bottle check with you today, but I drank everything in the bottle before we started recording.
Oh, bummer.
So now I'm not allowed to tell you what I drank.
I was meaning to ask if you remembered the 23rd of September.
That's today. Yeah, I have very good short-term memory. So I do. I woke up, made some food, and now we're doing this. So, so far so good. Oh, I took a shower also. Oh, shit. I'm forgetting the 23rd of September already. You know what I have to say to that?
What?
Wake me up when it ends.
Whoa! Whoa!
You ever hear that one before? Pretty good. Not a lot of people are saying it this year. This year everybody's like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I was going to say, I think the last 3 years it's been overtaken by Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That's alright. I think Green Day's probably happy about that. Do you know the...
They're off the radar.
Do you know the 4 elements?
What?
Do you know the 4 elements? There's Earth,
Wind, Fire, Water. The Fire Nation attacked and changed everything.
Okay, you're not excited about the live-action Avatar?
No, why would you want it in that format? Like, the action scenes are going to look bad.
I mean, fair, yes, you're right. But also, remember how we had just talked about WWE Avatar? And casting all those people?
Which was also a dumb thing.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be so funny? Drew McIntyre as Combustion Man, it's perfect casting. He looks exactly like that dude.
It's true.
That's all. Just gotta give him that thing on the forehead. And there it is. And that's the whole series.
Just gotta give him that thing on the forehead.
Yep, that's exactly what I meant to say, and you're right. Thomas, as much as Avatar, the live-action series, is going to be great, it's not the show we're here to talk about today. That show is Survivor David vs. Goliath, starting up this week. So, Thomas, do you want to discuss the Goliath tribe today?
I certainly do.
All right. Up first is everybody's favorite Goliath, maybe. He wrote School of Rock. He starred in School of Rock. He created Enlightened. He wrote for Freaks and Geeks, and he looks like a David. But he has very many accomplishments, which makes him a Goliath, and that is
David in the
Mike
streets,
White.
Goliath in the bed.
That's not even how that phrase goes. You should know that.
It is now.
Okay, fine. David in the streets, Goliath in the bed. That's like at a fortune cookie. You know, you always say in bed at the...
A fortune cookie that Ludacris made?
Yeah. I think that's how we got to this theme, is Ludacris was like, I'm the producer now. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
I'm the captain now, but it's Ludacris and he's the producer of Survivor now.
Yeah, it was the Captain and Tennille biopic.
Yeah. With Tom Hanks and Ludacris.
Yep.
They played Captain and Tennille.
Ludacris was Tennille.
Yeah, and obviously... sorry, a car just drove by with very loud music.
Hey, keep it down out there.
Yeah, we're trying to record a podcast up here.
People are trying to sleep or record a podcast.
To our podcast. I think it's very discouraging and mean on the podcast app that there's a sleep timer. Like, look, we know you're going to fall asleep to this. How dare they?
I get a lot of use out of it, too, so...
Yeah, I'm sure you do. It's a very useful tool. I just think it's rude. Okay. Mike is the Ken of this season, as in he is a solid dude who is on the wrong tribe. Oh, because the Freaks, I almost called this season Freaks and Geeks. The David tribe is supposed to be all, like, people who have worked really hard to accomplish things. And, like, isn't that what Mike White has done?
Yeah.
Right?
But I guess he's not an underdog anymore because he's already accomplished them. I don't totally get that.
Yeah, I guess if he was on the first season of Survivor in 2000, he was like, "Oh, I've written on a couple popular TV shows." They'd be like, "All right, you're a David. Where's your success?" And then School of Rock came out, and he was like, "All right, no messing with Mike White anymore." I don't think he's going to do well. Do you think he's going to do well?
I have no idea. It's hard to say.
I can see them picking him out because he is not physically strong.
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
Whereas it seems like everybody else on the tribe kind of prides themselves on that. Up next is Angelina. She is smarter than she lets on, and she is also accomplished.
Sure.
Great. So that's Angelina. Then up next is Jeremy, who is strong and likable, but cunning.
Oh.
Which Jeff says could be his double-edged sword, which is not how that phrase works. Like, does everybody have a double-edged sword on this show?
I mean, yeah.
I guess. Look, you can be very charming and make it to the final three, but are you charming enough to win? You can be very
real
strategic,
double-edged
but are you
sword.
strategic? If you're not strategic enough to win, it's a double-edged sword. Got you there, but couldn't finish it. It's like
you could have a sword with one edge, but if that sword's got another edge, that's a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, so I guess everybody does have a double-edged sword, like Darth Maul. Jeremy is the Darth Maul of this season.
That's not what that is. It's not what a double-edged sword is.
Have you seen Star Wars Episode 1, though?
That's not what that is, though.
No, but that's like literally a double-edged sword.
No.
It's a double-edged space sword.
It doesn't have to... It doesn't mean that it's a sword with blades coming out of either end of the handle. That's not what a double-edged sword is.
What does double mean? What's the definition of the word double?
The edge is on the blade of the sword.
No, I'm not asking about the edge. I'm asking about the word
You're
double.
asking about Bono. I wish I had a double Bono sword.
Oh, hell yeah. Imagine the glasses. You know what? I need some pretty heavy-duty sunglasses myself when I'm looking at Darth Maul's double-edged sword.
I hate you so much.
I don't think you should. Darth Maul literally has a double-edged sword. I don't see what's hard to understand about that. He has a sword that has two edges. That's a double-edged sword.
What do you think edges are? Lightsabers don't have edges on them.
Yeah, no, they have space edges. Like a blade? A blade's edges?
Yeah, but like, look at lightsabers are like cylindrical. It's because they're fucking lasers that they cut through stuff.
Yeah, I know, but they still are a sword.
Yeah, but they don't have edges.
In a way, they do.
No, in no way do they.
Okay, wait. If you're not looking up the definition, I'm going to go to thesaurus.com.
Fucking piece of shit.
No, this is important.
You're wrong.
Blade. Synonyms for blade. Okay. Knife, sword, brand, cutlass, shank, epee, and edge.
That's not... It doesn't mean that they're the same thing.
But I'm not saying they're the same thing. I'm saying Darth Maul's sword.
Darth Maul's sword does not have edges. Because it's a fucking lightsaber. They don't have edges. Edges are the sharp part of the blade.
A fucking lightsaber's pretty fucking sharp.
No, but
my
it
friend.
doesn't, like, there's like an actual physical shape to that makes them sharp.
But do you remember when Darth Maul was doing all the spinny shit in episode 1 and he cut himself in half?
Yeah, okay. First of all, no,
Because
he didn't cut himself in half.
Yeah, he did.
He got cut in half by Obi-Wan. Second of all...
Yeah, because he was doing too much flippy shit with his double-edged sword.
Second of all... I hate so much that I have to explain this to you.
But you're going to, because apparently it's very important I know what an edge is. I know all about edging.
There's only edges... Piece of shit. There's only edges because it's like the way that the sword is forged, because it's made out of metal, and you have to forge it so that it's sharp. If this thing is just a laser coming out of a tube, it's gonna be sharp. It's gonna be like hot and cut stuff because it's a laser.
My point is,
I know what your point is. It's stupid, like every other point you've ever made in your life.
My point is, a double-edged sword is a metaphor, and the Darth Maul's lightsaber was the same metaphor.
No, it wasn't. He didn't cut himself in half with the lightsaber.
No, but it was because of the flippy shit he was doing that he did get cut in half.
That had nothing to do with the sword, though.
No, he got too confident. Bring it back to Survivor. Okay. So that's Jeremy. He's likable but cunning. Natalie is up next. Jeff calls her a powerhouse and intimidating, and she could be held back by a lot of things because she's black, old, and female. Those are Jeff Probst's words.
He's like, black, old, female.
These could be weaknesses.
Calm down, Jeff.
Yeah. It's 3 things that Jeff doesn't like in a person. But she chooses to see those things as strengths.
Also, yeah, no one's ever been that and played the game well. It's never happened.
Yeah, I can't think of a single old black woman who's ever done well in this game. And never one who's done it several times.
Yep.
Up next is Alec. Charming, good, athletic. What did Alec look like? We literally just watched this video 20 minutes ago.
Was Alec the one that we hated?
Probably. There's a lot of people on this season. Alec. No, there's a cop coming up later. Yeah, I think Alec was the guy who's a Goliath because he's very charming.
Yeah, I didn't like that guy. Not charming enough to get me on his side.
Mm-hmm. Less charming than Darth Maul. Up next is Allison, who is a doctor, but also a free spirit.
I thought you were going to say a freak. She's also a fucking freak.
She's a doctor, she's a freak, and she's a geek.
She's on the Freaks tribe.
Can we do a Freaks and Geeks simulated season one time?
I would love it if we did that.
Ronda Rousey would be on the Freaks side. Because she's Linda Cardellini. They're the same person. Nobody's talking about it, but now a lot of people are talking about it.
You really do hear it.
Dan is up next. He's the 3rd most famous person on this season.
What is he famous for?
Okay, do you remember... Ooh, I should have looked this up earlier. I think it was in Florida. Yeah, in Florida. There was a hurricane a few years ago, and these 3 cops posted a picture.
Maybe you've heard of it.
Ever heard of this thing called hurricanes? They're a big deal in Florida. So 3 cops posted a picture, and they were deemed the hot cops, and he's one of them.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's it. That's his whole thing. He also lost over 100 pounds and transformed himself. He's a SWAT cop. Fuck him. Cara? How do you pronounce this person? Not Cara Maria. Although, now Cara Maria has another partner in almost the same name, so good for her. Oh, Thomas, wait until we get to the challenge chunk this week. Boy, oh boy. Okay, Cara is attractive. She was an NFL cheerleader and is now a successful real estate agent. She seems fine. Yeah. I got nothing more to say about her. You were saying that you are rooting for her because they treat NFL cheerleaders like shit, and I would agree with that.
Yeah, there's like a real labor issue there, so it'd be nice for her to get some money, considering that she was paid probably nothing to be a cheerleader.
Yeah. I mean, she got a lot of exposure, though.
Yeah.
And when you're one of those creative types, that's good.
You know, you can't live on exposure, but you can die from exposure.
Up next
that's what I'm always saying.
Somebody named John. Maybe you've heard of him. Jeff says he wears everything on his sleeve, not just his heart. He was also a WWE wrestler. Now wrestles for
Impact Wrestling. Yeah, he was wrestling for Lucha Underground for a while. I would not be surprised if we see him in WWE again soon. Even as soon as the Rumble.
That would be really cool if they did do that, to kind of promote, like quietly promote his return.
I mean,
like, I don't know what's behind that.
There are worse ways to do it.
Yeah. Jeff also feels that it is necessary to mention that he is very big.
He's a big guy.
He's a very big boy. And finally, last person on this tribe is Natalia. And she doesn't want to admit what she does for a living, is my only note on her. Do you remember anything about Natalia?
No.
Oh, no, she's a Canadian wrestler in the WWE.
Hey.
Natty Ice. Ooh, can we call her Natty Ice because she's so cool?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
We absolutely cannot do that.
What if she does turn out to be really cool? I'm going to call her Natty Ice if she is. What's their slogan?
What?
What's their slogan? Come on, Thomas.
Whose slogan?
Natural Ice.
I don't think they have one. Like, we suck. It's bad, but you'll still drink it.
Natty Ice. Okay. How is their own website not the first result on Google?
Are we gonna do a rehash of the Balls Guarana bit that we did the one time?
Oh my god. You know, anytime a podcast has a really successful thing, and they try to do a sequel to it, the sequel's never as good.
It's true.
But that's what we're doing right here.
How did you like that Balls Guarana orange, by the way?
It was fine.
That did not sound like it was fine.
I didn't have a very loud reaction to it one way or the other. It was just fine. It didn't taste bad, but it didn't taste good, and it gave me energy. So that's fine. Okay, so I'm on the Natty Ice website now. Epic stories, we all have them, and more often than not, wherever there's an epic story, there's a Natalie along for the ride. That's because even the best times are just better with Natty. So grab some Natty, call your buddies, even the people on your phone who you don't remember, and go make those epic stories happen. What?
Fucking epic stories, bro.
The banner photo is a big picture of Natty Light, sorry. Drink Natty, make stories in big, bold, blue letters. And there's a picture
No one has good stories from drinking fucking Natty.
Yeah, my shitty cousin bought a bunch of Natty Ice for our college apartment party. It was a bad night, is how most stories go.
I blacked out, and I woke up, and my leg was gone.
So there's somebody sitting on somebody else's shoulders. They're both drinking Natty Light in the photo, and there's a cloudy sky behind them. White clouds, of course, as the people are also.
Sure.
And then there is a flag with the Natural Light logo on it flying behind them. Oh,
hell yeah, dude.
Fantastic. Favorite beer, Natty Light.
Love it.
Natty Ice slogan. I don't know, man. It's not coming up. Oh, but here's a Wikipedia article. Look, we don't have wildlife shots this week, so this is the Wikipedia article I'm reading.
Gotta get one in.
Its ingredients are listed as, I don't like how they phrase that, water, barley malt, cereal grains, yeast, and hops. Cereal grains?
Cereal grains.
As in breakfast cereal? I don't like this beer, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
Okay, well, I could click on the fact sheet right now, but I feel like nobody wants to read about Natty Ice anymore.
No. I
Nobody
don't know why
being
anyone
me.
would.
Call me Mitsubi. Mitsubi?
I was going to make a Mitsuki joke, too, and mine wasn't going to be... I wasn't going to mess it up like you did.
Hey, you know what? I don't know how to talk. Listen to my podcast. Okay, so 7 of the 10 people on the Goliath tribe are from California. The other 3 are from New York, Florida, and North Carolina, one each. By comparison, on the David tribe, the state with the greatest representation is Texas, which makes sense for this show. They have 3 people from Texas, 2 from Florida, and then 1 from Georgia, New York, Colorado, and Massachusetts. So it's better distribution of people, I think. The age range is 19 to 56, which is a little better than Ghost Island, where everybody was like 21 to 34. Or 42, I think, was the oldest person on that season.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little wider range.
Yeah, it's
Is Mike White the oldest person on the show? I think he might be.
No. He is second or third oldest. The oldest person is Natalie. I think she's, what did I say, 56?
Is Natalie the old, black, female?
Yes. I wish that there were any other words to describe this person.
If we had a fucking soundboard, that would be one of the first things on there.
Absolutely. I might just pull that audio, and any time we bring up Natalie, we can just I'll edit in Jeff Probst saying that. It's awful. I hate it so much.
Jeff Probst fired for weird comments.
There are 9 people of color on this cast of 20. Ghost Island also had 20 people. Only had 5 people of color on the whole cast. Triple H had a third of the cast. It was people of color. So that's a surprising number for this show.
Sure, yeah.
I just found that. I don't know if they're trying harder to represent more people, but based on recent evidence,
I wouldn't be surprised if they are, and good for them if they are.
Here's the other thing. I don't know. I haven't seen the complete cast for whatever the next one's called, Island of Extinction or whatever. Oh boy, that's going to be a mess. But apparently, the casting director, who has been the casting director for the entire run of the show, was fired after this round of casting.
Interesting.
For this and next season. So if next season is also like nearly half people of color, and then they're like, you gotta go, and the following season is back to like 18 white people and 2 people of color who are voted off immediately, like, Jeffrey, not a good look.
You're canceled, Jeff.
They'll never cancel this show. It's so successful. Okay, Thomas. It's time for points. We got to pick people for our first episode, and we got to pick somebody for pre-merge for the Goliath tribe. Who did you pick for David last week? I picked Lursa for my person. What did you say?
I picked... who did I pick?
Yeah, I meant to re-listen to last week's episode, and I forgot. I mean, I guess I still could. You want me to pull up the list and you can remind you. What is this season called? Oh, David versus Goliath, my favorite Bible story. Last week we were talking about Wizard of Oz themed season, and I really want to do that now.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. I don't know why you want to do it.
It seems like it'll be very fun for myself and only me. Okay. We had Carl, we had Pat, Christian, B, Elizabeth, Gabby, Jessica, Davey, Lursa, and Nick. I already picked Lursa, so you probably shouldn't pick her.
Yeah. Did I pick the guy that was a truck driver? I think I might have.
Which guy was that? Was that Carl?
I think it might have been Carl. I think I might have picked Carl.
Okay. That sounds right to me. If it's wrong, I will re-listen. Or do you want to just...
No, I made a more informed decision that first time around, so that might be what we want to go with.
You know what? We can go to the actual Survivor wiki and see if Carl is the guy who you're thinking of. I'm pretty sure it is, but we should double check. Just because I'm curious and I love to Google things.
Don't we all?
It's really... Can you imagine a world without Google? I love Googling it. Don't you love Googling it?
I love to Google. That fun activity that we all love to know.
I love Googling. Okay. Carl Bordeaux. Truck driver. Yep. Right guy. He has a very American t-shirt on in his photo on survivor.wikia.com/wiki/Carl_Bordeaux. It's like thick stripes with blue and white and red and a little gray.
Okay.
Okay. So you got Carl. Good luck. Who's your Goliath? I feel like I already know who you're going to pick.
I'm going to pick Jomo.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Nitro. That is my pick.
Hell yeah. One of my favorite things is testing out nicknames for people throughout the season. But John has so many already. It's perfect.
Yeah, it really doesn't get... There's so many, like the... what was his... when he was first doing John Morrison, he had like a really cool nickname that they would use with him.
Oh, I don't remember. I feel like I started watching regularly as he was on his way out, so I don't know him super well.
Let me look.
Okay. I'll talk about Mike White some more. I don't expect him to do well. I expect John Morrison to make it to like the second or third last vote before the merge. They're not letting that dude get to the merge. He's too big. But good choice. Mike White, they're not going to trust him to do anything. He might be a strategic player. But I think it's going to be Natalie. I think a lot of people are going to try to work with Natalie, and she's going to be able to work her way through to the merge. So that's my pick. Who's you said Jomo. Did you find his nickname?
Oh, the Shaman of Sexy, I believe, was one of them. The Tuesday Night Delight, the Friday Night Delight, the Guru of Greatness, the new face of Extreme.
The new face of Extreme.
He was wrestling on the revived WWE ECW program.
Okay. Thomas, first episode starts Wednesday. Who will win the first reward challenge? Or, answer this first. What will the reward be?
I think that the reward is going to be tools to build a shelter.
Obviously.
Yeah. And I think that the Goliath tribe, whatever that tribe ends up being called, is going to win it.
Okay. I think that they will win Flint.
Yep, that's the other one that they always do at the beginning, so...
And I also think the Goliath tribe is going to win. I want the Goliath tribe to go on a winning streak early on so that they can really be made out to be very strong. And then... I'm rooting for the Goliath tribe because I feel like we're supposed to root for the underdog team.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes the Goliaths the underdog team because they're like pushing that David's our underdog so hard. I'm excited. I'm full in on this season and this dumbass theme. It's gonna be great. Okay, who do you think's gonna win the first immunity challenge?
I think that the Goliath tribe will also win the first immunity challenge.
I also think that. And who will be voted out of the other tribe? David's. Do you want all their names again?
I'm just trying to think of, like, who had the least... Like, who was talked about the least of those people.
Right. Okay. Carl, Pat, Christian, B, Elizabeth, Gabby, Jessica, Davey, Larissa, Nick. I'm thinking Christian.
I am
think he's going to make
just because it would be really funny if it happened. I'm going to say Larissa gets voted out.
Okay, writing that down now. And as I think about it, I realize that Christian is actually a really likable guy as I think back to his video. I think Carl is actually probably too charming.
Probably
too
charming, yeah. That seems like a problem that people have.
Last season, Wendell was so endearing and genuine, people kind of didn't trust it.
People didn't trust it, and that's why he didn't win.
And I feel like if he took like one step further into charm, I feel like that's where Carl is, and people just won't trust him. I don't care how likable he is.
That's, you make a good point.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens on this first episode of Survivor. Okay, Thomas. Next week, we're getting back to points. We're getting back to wildlife shots. But this week, the challenge continues. And guess what? We're 12 episodes in. And I don't think it's ever going to end.
Yeah, no one has been eliminated. They brought everyone back that got eliminated.
They were like, sorry, we were wrong. Last episode ended with a purge challenge, meaning the last place team is sent
meaning all crime was legal for 24 hours.
The last place team sends you straight to Redemption House. So it came down to Cam and Kaylee versus Cara Maria and Marie. And Cam and Kaylee lost. And they arrived at the Redemption House. Kaylee and Natalie do not like each other because Kaylee outed Natalie as a lesbian between seasons last year.
Jesus!
Yeah, because she had been shacking up with Bananas. It was her first season. Kaylee was like, she's not telling the truth to y'all. And called her a lesbian on Instagram. Then Natalie came back and came out as pansexual this season, which is cool. But then also, Natalie last season was part of the group that threw Kaylee's bags over the balcony, where she ultimately left the show because that's some bullshit. So they're not on great terms. Why weren't they?
There's a lot going on there.
Who was Kaylee's original partner? Cam? Not Cam. Mel. That doesn't... Okay, whatever. Stupid show. At one point, Tony calls his and Banana's team Batman and Robin, but we're both kind of Batman. Tony's...
Classic two Batman situation.
Somebody posted on the Facebook group, I feel like Tony would be more of a Nightwing character. It's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking nerd. They're absolutely Batman and Robin, and Tony is Robin. That's a fact. Amanda and Cara get in a fight, because that's what this show is now. At one point, Amanda yells at Cara, I hope your horse dies.
Woo!
Which is, like, so mean, but also so funny.
No, that's great.
Amanda was like, nobody likes you. And Cara was like, I love my horse. It's so good. And then Amanda said, I hope your horse dies. Oh my god. Okay, so then there's another challenge where they are suspended in the air and have to build a rope bridge while crossing said rope bridge. And it looks really fucking cool. It's a shame that the house drama detracts from this season so much because the challenges have been amazing. They look so difficult and so fun. And I just wish that we saw more of it. So most people do bad. During their post-challenge interview with Zach and Amanda, Zach is frustrated with Amanda because they have been making a lot of progress building their relationship, but still feels like she isn't pulling her weight. And he says it's like we take 2 steps forward, but then 4 steps back. And Amanda says, at least we're moving forward. And then Zach makes the Jim Halpert face and just goes, nope. They're going to win this season.
That's amazing.
They're a very good team for this season. But they were very bad. Everybody did very badly. Some people did so bad that TJ yelled at them.
Wow.
Yeah, that very rarely happens. They had 15 minutes to complete the task. Some people didn't even get the first of, I think, 5 stations completed. And TJ tells them that the testers got it done in 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was great. The only team to complete it was Bananas and Tony. So they won the challenge. Good for them. I'm getting real tired of this season, though. Let me tell you. It's making me mad. There's too much house drama, and it's really draining to watch. They promoted this as, like, the hardest season to date, but, like, literally half of each episode is just house drama, and I hate it. Anyway, that's what happened on the show. But let me tell you about what happened post-show.
Okay.
In my own life. I had this idea while watching the episode. What if, they all wear jerseys with their name on it during the challenges? What about people who have won a season have, like, a little gold mark or a badge or, like, a little insignia on their jersey every season that shows that they have won? Like they do in the NBA,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this seems like a cool, harmless idea. Let's see what other people think of it. So I went to that Facebook group that I hate. And I hate it because it's literally just people who watch the show fighting with each other. I was like, you know what? This is a harmless idea.
So we can all get behind.
So if you don't like it, no worries. If you do, cool. So a fair amount of people were into the idea, liking it, and commenting, cool. But then there were some people who were not into the idea.
I just don't understand how you could have a strong opinion about this.
Right? So
over my dead body will they have gold marks?
Like, they already... Okay, so somebody who we will call Person A said, why? And then I did not respond because I don't want to have a conversation with somebody on the internet. And then somebody else named Person B replied, defending the idea, and said, to acknowledge their wins. So at this point, I really like Person B. They get the idea.
Yeah, they get it. They know what's up.
Yeah. Then Person A responds by saying, everyone knows who won, no point.
Like, what? This is the kind of person I love. That they're like, well, I know who won, so that means that everyone knows.
Right.
And also, who cares?
Right.
It's just like a fun little visual thing.
Yeah. Then Person B argues, not new viewers, it may also help older viewers remember who exactly has won, because on a previous post, there were people who forgot Zach was actually a champion. Which is true. He has won. He hasn't won in a while, but he has won. Yeah, it confirms
that. There's been a lot of seasons of this show, and sometimes people aren't on for several seasons.
Right. And then...
It's not like I'm going to be looking and being like, does Bananas ever won?
Person B is expanding on my idea and citing evidence. I was just like...
Evidence and reason.
Yeah, right.
We were owning that person by their own logic.
I was just like, this would be cool. And Person B was like, yeah, it would be cool. Then Person A comes back to add, old winners are irrelevant unless there's a champs team. Like I don't...
What the fuck? But that's a completely different thing. That's a person who knows they've lost the argument, so they have to make a dumb excuse.
Oh, wait, there's more. They say, like, I don't care who won before. If you're not winning now, that's your problem.
Like, what? That's not what this is about.
That's not the point at all. And then no one responds, and they come back and say, also, Google.
That one they were definitely sitting on for, like a day afterwards. They were like, oh, shit, why didn't I say this before?
Yeah. And I mean, I've said before, I love to Google.
Yep.
Then Person B returns to ask, well, then why does the NBA do it? Which is a solid question. Yeah. It's a great example.
Oh, I bet this person hates basketball.
I don't see how you could. It's a great sport.
It is a great sport.
And then they continue, I presented 2 good reasons why it would be a cool idea. Remember, this is the person we like. Then they say... I'm
just glad that people have rallied behind you for this. It seems like really just that one guy that doesn't like the idea.
Person B continues, you can go drink your cup of coffee or whatever and see if that puts you in a less combative mood.
What?
Which is like, not a great thing to say.
That's like a I'm not mad online, you're mad online kind of thing.
I can understand why they
like, I'm actually not mad and I am laughing. And maybe it's you that's mad. Why are you so obsessed with me?
So they continue. This is all one comment. I've wasted enough time on explaining this already this morning. This is the person you like. So person A comes back and says, because that's a professional sport. This is a TV show. And that's the end of that comment.
That doesn't make any sense. They're both competitive things that have people that have won.
And then they return a short time later.
Yeah, idiot. It's because basketball... Oh, you think they're dribbling basketballs around on the challenge? Is that what you're trying to say?
Sometimes. Until they... Okay.
Moron.
Until they
return... I guess I'm weird. I didn't see the challenge on ESPN last night. Almost like it's not a professional sports league, like you were saying it was.
Even though people wear jerseys and are, known by the fan base. Like they would be in a professional sport. They return a short time later to succinctly summarize the entire conversation by saying, also, I'm not, quote, combative. I'm sorry you can't have a conversation with someone who has a different opinion without getting offended.
Oh, yes, there it is. Oh, I'm sorry I triggered you.
And then they end the comment with, LOL.
Oh, Snowflake, I'm sorry that you can't handle that there shouldn't be gold marks on the jerseys. Do you need a safe space where everyone gets a gold mark on their jersey?
Wouldn't it be cool, though? Wouldn't that be a cool visual thing? And if you've won multiple, you can have multiple badges or something on your breastplate, just on the chest area of your jersey. Bananas would have 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Or what's his name? Jordan would have a couple. And then if you won a Champs vs. Stars, you could have a smaller one. Or if you have gone to a final but didn't win, you could have a silver one.
Look, you're not hearing any disagreement from me on this. I'm on board.
Or in college football, they've got the stickers on the helmet.
Yeah, that was actually a good idea. That was the first thing I thought of. Actually,
why am I not producing the challenge?
It's a good question. Well, maybe the person producing the challenge is person A.
It's entirely possible. Vince McMahon probably produces the challenge. They're like, oh, the fans want this. What if we do the complete opposite and yell at them for not liking what we're doing? That would be a Vince thing
to have a very weird, dumb opinion about something that he just assumes everyone else thinks. They're totally different.
I've seen every WWE event for the last 5 to 10 years. Yeah. Also, the Emmys were
challenge
this week.
Is sports entertainment.
The challenge, it literally is. That and WWE are absolutely sports entertainment in the definition. The Emmys were this week, and TJ said on Twitter, I wonder if we're ever going to win one. And I just responded, if every episode stuck to the same structure, this show would be really good. And a ton of people liked it.
Yep.
TJ did not, but he did retweet and respond to a lot of very positive comments about his comment. So I'm writing a letter to MTV to say, can I produce the challenge now? Sign it. Thanks.
Yeah, if they text me asking for an endorsement, I will definitely get on that.
Can you just link them to this podcast?
Yep, and then maybe I'll get free episodes of the challenge from that.
I'll send you early copies. I'll send you test screeners, and you can be like, too much bananas. Not enough grocery shopping for bananas. That was more an Are You the One season redemption show. What am I saying? Anyway, hashtag reboot next. I went to a party last week.
Jake, I just want to point out that it's 4:20 right now. Now it's 4:21. I just wanted to get that in there.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It's 3:21 for me, but, you know, in 59 minutes, it's going to be 4:20 for me, and don't tell my mom, but I do have some weed. I might spark up, as they say.
That's illegal.
Sparky, no sparking, am I right?
I'm calling the police. Sir.
And I might edit this podcast and just have a good fucking time, you know? Weed's cool. Don't tell the cops, though, because then they're going to take it all. So I went to a party last night, and we got talking about Next, and it was a pretty quiet party until then, and then it was a very loud party. It's one of those everybody sits in a circle parties.
Everyone was very into Next.
Everybody was very into Next.
It's true. That's why they should bring it back.
Yeah, honestly. I tried to get people to get excited about the reboot of Next, but the conversation was more like, oh yeah, I remember Next. What was that show where this happened and this happened? And then somebody else would be like, it was this show. And then
so people were talking about, like, Date My Mom or whatever. Date My Mom,
Parental Control. I'm sure Room Raiders came up at one point.
Yeah, I mean, those were all in the same lineup, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it was all those kinds of shows. And then, like, VH1 celebrity shows from the same era.
You know we like to talk about that.
Oh, God, I got so excited when that came up. And I had to keep myself from talking about the guy who canceled Megan Wants a Millionaire.
Oh, man. That whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to make everyone feel like a bummer. So I was just like, yeah, man, that show was fucking great. But
I love that Megan Finds a Millionaire was not canceled for any reason. That's my favorite part about the show.
My favorite thing was Megan Wants a Millionaire and how she won that millionaire.
And how the season aired the way for its intended length.
Megan Hauserman was the original Corey Wharton.
How so? Is she from here?
She's not from here, but she was on a good number of reality shows in her time. She started on Beauty and the Geek.
Yep.
And then she went to Rock of Love, and then she went to, I think, I Love Money, and then she got her own show. That never got canceled for any reason.
I Love Money was a great show.
It was a great show. They never ended the third season.
Was I Love Money the one that had the guy that gave the weird inspirational speech that was, I think he plagiarized from Rocky and then just made a bunch of grunting noises when he got eliminated?
You know, that doesn't sound familiar, but it 100% sounds like it could have. Now Corey is on...
Now he's in the house.
Corey originally was in the house, then he was on The Real World, then he was on The Challenge, then he was on X on the Beach, and now he's on Teen Mom.
He's on Teen Mom?
Yeah, he and Cheyenne joined the cast of Teen Mom, even though they were both in their mid-20s when they had their child.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're pushing Teen Mom real hard for some reason now. Which is weird. That show's been on forever. I don't understand why they're, like, rebooting it while it's still airing, but...
It's a bit odd.
Great show. I don't know. I don't watch it. You can follow us on Twitter at DYWSLN to watch me complain about the challenge. Or you can follow me at Jake Scheidel to watch me complain about parties I'm in attendance of. Or you can follow Thomas at TomNotTom, where he... What do you do on Thomas? What do you do on Thomas on Twitter?
I complain about politics and talk about basketball sometimes, or sometimes I talk about football, but not that often. And usually not for very long, because the teams that I like aren't good. And except for the Michigan Wolverines, they won't let me down until a few games into the season.
Talking about wildlife shots. Wolverines.
What
if Thomas, speaking of Wolverines, what if they had a season of Survivor in the American woodlands?
I would love it. I would love for them to do that.
It would be cool, right? It would just have a totally different vibe.
Like in Alaska.
Ooh, Eric Reichenbach's idea. Yeah, that's... Does he follow me? He should, on Twitter. I respond to his tweets a lot. And I was like his biggest proponent when he was pushing Survivor Alaska. So I'm going to DM him this week probably and be like, let's try again with Survivor Alaska. There's only like 5 years left on their Fiji contract, so we can make this happen.
In news of people that you want to follow you following you. I've gotten the follow now of one of the two arbiters of great Stephen A. Smith tweets. Are you familiar with the two great Stephen A. Smith tweets?
His own tweets?
No, his great tweet is the "Take a look, y'all" tweet, where it's just like he typed out.
He typed out the image on his desktop. Yeah.
But no, there's two tweets that perfectly capture the essence of him. One of them is by David Roth, who will follow me. I will make that happen, but has not happened yet. Which is, waiter recites specials to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith looking incredulous. To me, that's preposterous. Crab Rangoon, things of that nature. And the other one is great because it's back and forth between. This is when he was still on First Take, or he was when Skip. What the fuck is his last name?
Bayless.
Skip Bayless was still on First Take. It was Stephen A. Skip, I want to address this issue. Skip nods. You know I am sensitive to the Holocaust. Skip, yes. Of course. Stephen A. But that is by Hagelbahn, who everyone should follow. He's a great follow, and more importantly, he follows me now. So
I'll follow him.
I'm a real big shot. Also, he has a podcast called No Cartridge that is a video game podcast, and it's very good.
Okay. So listen to that one. Speaking of friends who you want to suggest podcasts to, and you should... I'm going to cut this all out. Speaking of friends... I would like everybody listening to this to tell one friend about this podcast. And if you're for that friend, what's up? Hey, thanks for listening. I want you to also tell a friend about the podcast. Because here's the thing, Thomas. This is my Stephen A. Smith impression. Here's the thing. I kind of feel like this podcast is a David podcast. But by the end of the season, I would really like it to be a Goliath podcast. You know?
If you think about it.
If you really think about it...
I often do.
I'm constantly thinking about it. Make this a Goliath podcast. How many listeners do you want, Thomas? And make sure it's a big number so it sounds like we already have a lot of listeners.
I feel like it's going to be... I feel like it's going to be that scene in Nightcrawler where I name my price now that I've earned my promotion with Jake Gyllenhaal, and I'm like $100 a week. I could have gone bigger. I'm going to say 1,000 listeners. 1,000
new listeners. We can make it happen. And if we don't, you're not allowed
double
to listen to...
our number of listeners.
Yeah.
That's definitely how many we have right now.
Shut up! We want to get to an even 69,000 listeners. That's what we're looking for. We've been so close for so long. What do you think of the number 69,069?
If we can get up to, in like a more realistic goal, if we can
get up... Did you hear my orgy joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
If we can get up to
69,069.
If we can get up to 690 listeners, that would be good. I would be happy with that.
6,900.
Even 420 listeners, I would be happy with.
420,000 listeners. Hell yeah. I want 1 million listeners.
You are really...
New hashtag get DYWSO and 1 million listeners. Put it on BuzzFeed.
Let's make it happen, folks.
If we get 1 million listeners, 10 of them are bound to stick around.
That's true.
I'm really excited for this new season. Are you excited for this new season?
I'm actually very excited for this new season. I think it's going to be fun.
I agree. I wonder how much they're going to play up the Bible thing, or if they're just going to be like, it's underdogs versus tops.
Whoa! Survivor tops versus bottoms.
That's a simulated season we need to do.
Yep, we got to do that. But yeah, Jeff just being like Jeff coming up to the castaways and like taking a chair and turning it around backwards and being like, let's rap, folks. And do you know who the original rapper was? I'm talking about a little friend of mine called Jesus.
And instead of Drizzy Drake, Aubrey Graham showing up with the Toronto
God
Raptors,
is like the original host of his own show, and that show is called Humanity.
Instead of Drake making a cameo or whatever celebrity they're going to, it's going to be fucking DC Talk.
Yeah, fucking the who are the like newsboys or whatever show up and perform "God's Not Dead"?
Oh man, I feel like we've just created a crossover season between Survivor and Kid Nation. I feel like Kid Nation was going very Christian, maybe not outright, but I definitely get that vibe from it. Right? I
never actually got to watch Kid Nation, so.
But would you be surprised if that was the case?
No, but
that's what I'm saying.
Also, yes.
Any of those like early primetime network shows like that, like American Ninja Warrior, I feel like, or Extreme Home Makeover, I feel like they all are, in my mind, they are all grouped into the same kind of thing. I don't know why we're talking about this. Survivor
you got nobody but yourself to blame there, my dude.
Wednesday, September 26th is coming up. It's Wednesday. This Wednesday. And then we're going to talk about the episode next week. It's going to be a great time. Man, I wish we had gotten to know Carl better, but, you know, you love and you lose. That's it.
That's that saying.
That's the L words. Also, next week, I'm going to my sister's wedding, so I don't know what my Sunday is going to look like, but we will find some time.
Real great excuse.
Yeah, I know.
Where have I heard that before?
So many weddings interrupting our recording schedule. It's like, yeah, Colleen, I know you're getting married, and, like, it's very important
I got
to
a
you.
show to run.
I've got the
think about that.
Premiere of the 37th season of the show Survivor to discuss for an hour on Sunday. So think about my hangover. And she's like, you know, you don't have to get crazy drunk. And I'm like, think about my lack of hangover. That doesn't sound as fun, Colleen. So my sister's getting married, and then I have like a 6-hour car ride and then like a 2-hour train ride back home the next day.
Yeah, you get to drive through Ohio, the most interesting state in the Union.
Oh, buddy. Most of it's going to be Indiana.
Oh, that'll be even better.
We're cutting diagonally through Indiana.
Man, you're not even going to get to go through Flag City. What a bummer.
Yeah, probably not. That's in Ohio, right?
Yeah, it's in Findlay, Ohio. Shout out Flag City.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's literally a silo, but it's a metropolis.
There's also a black.
What?
I need
a female black.
There is also a bridge that says Flag City.
Oh,
my brain just
the bridge.
My
Looks like you needed a bridge between your two thoughts.
Apparently. You know, the
and
problem
that bridge was flag.
The problem is that we build walls instead of building bridges.
That's so fucking deep, Thomas. That's amazing. Did you come up with that?
I did.
That's amazing.
I thought of that just now.
That's so smart and so deep, and I love it. Okay, so that's the show. Tell your friends to listen to the show. I want more people on iTunes listening to our voices. Make good jokes. All right, you got anything else, Thomas?
No, I believe that will be it.
Well then, new season, both
new me.
Of Survivor and of the calendar. It's fall now, baby. Have a great autumn.
Deuces.
I used to think that I should watch TV. I used to think that it was good for me. Wanted to know what folks were thinking, to understand the land I live in. And I would lose myself and it would set me free. This is the place where common people go.
Usually you get mad if I don't say summer, but since it's the first day of
I
fall
love
yesterday.
fall. I would never get mad at anybody who's talking about it being fall.
I love autumn, which is really exciting because, like, I've had 500 whole days of summer, and I think it's time for autumn.
Isn't that a dumb thing that happens in that he meets a girl named Autumn at the end of it?
Yeah, that's exactly
That movie
it.
sucks.
I know. I referenced it specifically because I knew you hated it.
Oh, we both like the Smiths.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have the excuse of being written by a high schooler.
Who wrote it? John Green?
Honestly, like, John Green is a better writer than that.
Oof.
Yeah. I'm not saying that as a compliment to him.
Wait, is it the Smiths or... Yeah, the Smiths, because he can hear it through her over-the-ear headphones.
You've heard of this band, the Smiths? That was at a time when it was, like, incredible that a girl with, like, a same band that you like. Like, that was, like, what the thing in indie movies was like.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this girl likes the Shins. And it's also really annoying.
And that, unfortunately, influenced my entire romantic career, and still does. Your thing. Hey, did you know that there's a button on Audacity that looks like an anus?
Which one is it?
Let me flip the camera around.
Oh, yep, I can see it. Yep, I see it right now. I saw it on my Audacity, like,
yeah,
a second after. I was like, which one?
The one that very clearly does.
What is this for? Multi-tool. Well,
Ew.
I mean, that's a pretty good description of an anus. There's several things you can do with it.